For 300 years, Western science has modeled reality as a collection of discrete, indestructible building blocks existing in an empty vacuum. It is the cosmic equivalent of an isolated floating block from a toddler's shape sorter toy. This frictionless void was never meant to be a perfect description of reality. Physicists adopted it as a mathematical convenience, stripping away the physical density and drag of actual space to make the calculus manageable on a clean, empty grid. This diagram illustrates the immediate structural risk of building a universe on a frictionless vacuum, the butterfly effect. In a completely empty void, there is no physical resistance to absorb a mistake. A microscopic rounding error in a particle's trajectory will echo forward without drag, compounding exponentially until it fractures the entire system. Existence would be too mathematically brittle to survive its own microscopic glitches if the universe were truly an empty, frictionless void. This model also treats time as a reversible geometry. In pure relativistic math, a teacup falling off a table and shattering is indistinguishable from a pile of shards reassembling and leaping back onto the table. But the empirical reality of matter, as documented by Marie Curie, only moves in one direction. A block of radium-226 decays into radon, emitting an alpha particle and a specific burst of heat. This process never runs in reverse. The radiation never spontaneously reabsorbs into the nucleus. That release of heat is the actual thermodynamic friction of mass converting into energy. It acts as a one-way valve, forcing the physical state of the material permanently forward. Time is inseparable from this thermodynamic friction. Without the physical exchange of heat and energy, the sequence of events stops. Reconciling this paradox requires a shift in perspective, the grand theory of the viscous lattice. It suggests the universe is not a void, but a dense, interactive, continuous fluid. In a fluidic universe, the idea of a solid, discrete particle vanishes. Objects are no longer nouns, they are ongoing processes, verbs. What we measure as a particle is a localized singularity, a swirling vortex or topological knot vibrating within the continuous fluid. It is a dense peak in the wave, stabilized by hydrodynamic pressure of the surrounding medium. Alan Turing applied this same continuous logic to biological growth. In 1952, Turing's work on morphogenesis demonstrated that biological patterns emerge from oscillating chemical fields rather than the assembly of discrete parts. From biological cellular growth to abstract quantum behavior, reality functions as an unbroken wave equation, shaped by the fluid's pressure. Because space is a viscous medium, movement through it generates thermodynamic friction. This friction is the physical mechanism that creates the progression of time. Most foundational cosmic movements operate in repeating cycles, such as the moon's gravitational orbit. When pushed forward by thermodynamic friction, the orbit cannot close into a flat circle, it stretches into a 3D helix. Past states are never deleted. Every rotation locks into place, becoming the rigid mathematical scaffolding that supports the active edge of the present. This helical structure defines the physical geometry of matter, evolving through a thermodynamic universe. We can verify this model through scale invariance. The exact same mathematical laws apply regardless of size. We see helical accretion in the biological growth of a starfish, and we see it in macrocosmic shifts. Over millions of years, colliding tectonic plates, like those forming the Himalayas, behave as a highly viscous fluid. The biological lattice and the geological plate follow the same core fluid dynamic equations, differing only in their local viscosity and vibration rates. While standard academia separates these into different fields, the underlying mechanical engine of reality is unified. Consider what happens when a microscopic anomaly is introduced into the dense scaffolding of the past. This diagram shows topological drag. Densely packed previous loops physically push back against the anomaly, compressing it into place. The viscous plenum acts as a universal shock absorber. It routes energy around microscopic defects, seamlessly absorbing the shock. Reality functions as a robust, self-healing knot, rather than a fragile mathematical house of cards. These mechanics mirror a vibrating guitar string. Brushing the string creates a momentary flutter of dissonance, but the dominant standing wave quickly forces the vibration back into its primary macroharmony. The anomaly survives as a permanent microscopic variation within the larger pattern, like the unique continuous irregularities in the stripes of a zebra. Altering the macro structure of this lattice requires sustained conscious will, the application of enough thermodynamic energy to overcome the drag of the past. The future of physics depends on viewing the cosmos as a single, continuous, vibrating fluid, where time functions as the engine of thermodynamic growth.